just trying to figure it out. I was marketing, buying suits and a bunch of courses, right? Like everybody do, just sitting around, just being an information junkie. And then once like 2017 is when I got my first contract. And then that's when I made $157,000. From that point, I invested in mentorship now. So now I have more money. I can get professional guidance. Got mentorship. I opened up a commercial cleaning franchise. I purchased 2 more properties. So I started to diversify my money because I wanted to make sure that I was safe, right?
By listening to my guests share how they are discovering their best self, you will discover the best part of you. Okay, and welcome back to Discover Your Best Self podcast show. So first of all, thank you so much for continuing to subscribe and follow us. Today we have an awesome guest, none other than Ramel, and he is the CEO owner of Mailbox Millionaire Academy. I mean, when you hear that, you just think money for me. But I'm going to let him go ahead and introduce himself. He is from none other than Brooklyn, New York. Go ahead, Ramel, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. Well, Shanice, thank you first and foremost for bringing me on your platform and allowing me to share my story, information to your audience. It's a pleasure to see women like yourself just doing amazing things in the entrepreneurial space. For those of you that are now tapped into me, my name is Ramel Newworlds, 29 years old, born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, serial entrepreneur. I've been in the real estate business for the last 7 years, and I was able to just, step by step, brick by brick, build a multi-million-dollar real estate empire. I currently own over 40 plus doors in an 88-unit storage facility, almost over $4 million. That's what my portfolio was worth. But I don't judge my success on what I've done. I judge my success on how many people I've helped. And I've helped over 100 professionals get access to $5 million in funding. I helped 6 of my students quit their 9-to-5 job. So I'm just pretty much on this path to spread the word of financial independence, right? Being able to not depend on one person, place, or thing to be able to be financially stable. So that's me.
Man, that's a lot to say at 29. Yeah. At 29, I was kind of fresh to Houston a little bit. I was pregnant, about to have my first baby. So I definitely was not with the portfolio of, what'd you say? How many million?
I got 40 doors.
40 doors?
Yeah, in the 88-unit storage facility. So it's anywhere like 3.7 million. That's
nice. Yeah, well accomplished. So before you got to that point, we got to have a little chat before this interview, and I got to know Ramel a little bit more. And so I want to bring out some of those things that we got to talk about, which was, you had a 9-to-5, right? And tell us a little bit about, what you were doing before that and how you were able to afford to be able to step out on your own.
Yes. So I love sharing my story because I personally feel that I'm like everyone else, right? I don't have no secret. I just didn't pop out and become this big entrepreneur. I went down a path that everyone typically goes through, right? So born and raised in Brooklyn in the inner city, just going through humble beginnings, right? Welfare, food stamps, right? 12 of us, my brothers, my cousins, my siblings. We lived in a 3-bedroom apartment, 2-bathroom. Wow. So just coming from an environment where I pretty much got to strive to just make it out, right? And I had the best of both worlds because my mom, she was a full-time entrepreneur. So she had her own production company. And I seen how she impacted people, had her own schedule and fancy cars, clothes. I'm like, all right, I don't know exactly what she's doing, but I like that. I want that. And my dad, on the other hand, he was a full-time, career-oriented individual. He was he worked as a correction officer. So retired, pension. So I was able to look at both of them. And my dad always told me never settle for a job, right? He said a job stands for just over broke. Because at the end of the day, when your job lets you go, your livelihood can be dramatically impacted. So I always had that in my mind. How could I use, a job to get to that next level? Mm-hmm. So I went away to University at Albany, upstate New York, where I graduated with my bachelor's in business management and minor in communications. And I was offered a full-time job with Pepsi Beverages Company straight out of college. So they offered me $55,000. And I said, okay, I'm going to take it because I want to learn the experience. I want to work for the resources, right? Understand processes. So what I did was when I got my paycheck, we all get direct deposit. With my direct deposit, I was set up where 30% of my check would go directly into my business account. So
Oh,
I
okay.
would just live off of 70% of my income. I just kind of baked it into my brain that I was only living off of 70% of my income.
That was what you
And
decided. Nobody told
that's
you
what I
that.
decided. I
Yeah.
just because I didn't want to be. I knew being at the job was just a 5-year plan for me. I said I got a 5-year plan because 401k in order to get vested, I had to be in there 5 years. So I was pretty much ahead of my time, and I think my dad and my mom to be able to kind of instill that in me to know you got to make it out, right, and don't do it the way that we did it because you don't want to be like us. And
Right.
so every single year, I would max out my 401k. I would go and buy properties, 2 properties a year, build it up, to the point where my passive income started to supersede what I was making at the job. And then I said,
So
yo, I'm out of here.
yeah, so I kind of want to get into the details of, you said so the first property, like just give us some numbers just so we can have a reference point, right? And obviously numbers are very dependent on where you are in the country. But you're in New York. I'm assuming that's where you bought your first property. How much was that property?
I'm $590,000.
Okay, so you got that from being able to save money every month or from every paycheck.
No, no, that's a great call out, right? So I was saving money so that I could build up enough income to buy a property, but unfortunately, that property I didn't qualify for the mortgage because I was only making $55,000 a year. So the bank didn't qualify me to buy a $590,000 property.
Gotcha.
So instead, I had to be creative in how can I still get this deal done without me being able to afford it, right? Not having strong enough credit. So I was able to find a mentor of mine, right? And she connected me to a capital partner who has so much experience in real estate money. And he was able to come in and put up the entire $590,000. I put no money out of my pocket, right? The only thing that I had to give up was 50% equity. So we had to split the profits 50-50. So he put up the entire 590,000. We purchased the property. Now I put in my sweat equity, managing the project, working with contractors, everything, right? As we're renovating, put it back on the market for $1.2 million. I made $157,000 my very first deal, walked away from the closing table with $157,000 check.
Okay.
And the rest from that, it showed me because like it's on now. It's on.
Yeah,
You can't tell
yeah.
me nothing.
It's kind of like I have a 9 to 5 and I work in sales. And when I get my commission, I'm always like, oh, I'm tired of this. I don't want to do this. But then when you get your commission, you're like, okay, I'm ready for the next one. Like,
That's it.
when is the next one coming? But no, I mean, that's awesome. So from there, that's how you were able to build, right? And so within like your first year, let's just say, how many properties were you able to attain?
So I started in real estate with 2014, 2015, around that time. So my first 2 years, I didn't make no money. I was just trying to figure it out. I was marketing, buying suits and in a bunch of courses, right? Like everybody do, just sitting around, just being an information junkie. And then once like 2017 is when I got my first contract. And then that's when I made $157,000. From that point, I invested in mentorship now. So now I have more money. I can get professional guidance. Got mentorship. I opened up a commercial cleaning franchise. I purchased 2 more properties. So I started to diversify my money because I wanted to make sure that I was safe, right?
Yeah.
Now, it was a gift and a curse, I will tell you, because now that I got money, I'm thinking I can put it in multiple places, but my mind can't be in multiple places now. So now I'm trying to run a real estate business. I'm in a mentorship program. I'm trying to run a commercial cleaning franchise. I'm trying to produce a movie. Like I thought I could do anything. And then, I lost my commercial cleaning franchise because I wasn't super hands-on, didn't have the right people and processes in place. My media production company had to put that to the side, but it taught me to listen, focus on one thing, be the master of one thing, and then you can start to spread your wings and go in different places. So at this point, over the last 3 years is when I scaled up and just started buying 6, 7 properties, 6, 7 buildings every single year.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting because I talked to so many different people, and some people are like, yeah, I did all these things and they were able to focus, and in their eyes they feel like, they're great at being able to multitask. But then I talked to really to other successful people as well, and they're like, first focus on that one thing, and when would you say is a point where you can start deviating and diversifying and kind of doing things in different areas before, you know, you just kind of do it all at once?
That's a great question. When you're able to put systems in place and hire other people, and when you
Okay.
can invest to pay other people that can do it the same way you can, that's when you can move off. And a lot of people, they jump off and think they could do different things too premature. So for me, I always say system stands for saving yourself significant time, energy, and money. Right.
Oh,
So
I
when you
like
have
that. Say that again. Say that again.
saving yourself significant time, energy, and money, right? That's when you have systems. And most people don't want to invest. So I had to pay $30,000 to get an HR company to come in and help me with my onboarding process, right? Code of
Right.
conduct, employee handbooks. I had to pay all this money. We had to get an operations manager to come in and just devote my time, right? Because now if you pay somebody and there's not enough money, they're gonna do 3 and 4 jobs. They're not gonna be dedicated to you. And it was tough. It was really tough. And I'll be completely transparent, right? It was because of COVID.
Yeah.
COVID forced me to delegate because I had COVID and I was down for a little while and I couldn't move around. I couldn't be myself. And it kind of forced me to really lean on my team. And it
Hmm.
was a blessing in disguise because at that point, everybody showed up and stepped up to the plate. So which allowed me to go, oh, hold on, okay, I see what I can step back a little bit more, give more responsibilities, but now I have more time to think and work on my business. And now I can build a stronger empire.
So that $30,000 investment into your team, well worth it.
Oh, by far, we made that money back like times 10 already. Like we done made
Yeah,
that.
I think people are so scared sometimes to invest in a team or, outsource things. So, like, what's the value of being able to outsource, the work? I know you said the time and all of that, but what else is linked to that to be, I think, productive, right? To actually get things done.
Yeah. So for me, my philosophy is I don't work for money. I don't. I work for time. But that's what we want. Time is our most valuable asset.
Right.
I'm in rooms with, high level millionaires and billionaires and masterminds I'm a part of. And the one thing that's common is we want more time to spend with our families, to do things we love. So that's why we get money to be able to buy back more time. And I had to realize, like, do I want to make the most money or do I want to have the most time?
Right.
And I had to now give up some of that money. So, okay, let me give up some money so that other people can work. But now I can spend more time with my wife and my son. Like
Yeah.
now I can go and be at my niece's birthday party and do certain
Mhm.
things, right? So it's really about making a decision. Do you want more money or do you want more time, right? And this is something I learned in like working at Pepsi. And a lot of people talk down on 9 to 5s, not me. I love my 9 to 5 for what I've learned from it. And one of the things I learned is like Pepsi and Coca-Cola, right? Two big companies, they compete against one another, but they sell the same products, right? But what you cannot duplicate is the people. So yeah, I may have a company and the services, the information, the things that I provide, somebody else may try to duplicate that, but you can't duplicate the people that's in my organization, right? The
Mhm.
passion, the community, the love, the support.
Right.
So if you make that investment in your team, it's only going to help you grow and make even more money.
Yeah, for sure. And
Mhm.
when you said that you invested in mentorship, right? And obviously that's time, but what was that cost equal to?
I paid 15,000 for mentorship initially. That was my first real mentor. That was a one-on-one basis. The other mentorships was just like courses and things like that. But I paid $15,000 for one-on-one mentorship. And from that, I spent so much money on mentorship. I'm in 2 masterminds right now, 25,000, 25,000. So that's 50,000 alone in the last like 90 days.
Hmm.
But I look at money differently. Like I've trained myself to look at money and not be connected to it, right? We
Yeah.
gotta let it go. We be so connected to look at money in our bank account, then we can't receive the blessing that is gonna come our way
It's
because we're,
coming.
we're
Yeah.
connected to it.
It's
So
like your fist is tight, right? Like you're not letting nothing go, but also you ain't letting nothing in. I had
mm-hmm.
a friend of mine who runs their own business and has been doing it for like what the past 8 years or so, and just hasn't moved. It hasn't done anything, no progression, but also they don't want to spend any money on websites or any type of development, and they're so scared of somebody taking something. It's like, well, you being afraid of that is stopping you from growth and stopping you from making the money that you're so capable of making.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love that concept of what you have. Did you get that from The Secret, or that's just what you know yourself?
No, that's pretty much what I've learned
But you know
myself.
yourself. Okay, I was gonna say, have you read The Secret? Do you know
I
anything?
haven't read The Secret. No, I haven't
Okay,
read it.
okay. Well, you have to read parts of it. But anyway, also, the value of being able to learn from someone else and pay for that. I mean, myself, I've gone through so many different corporate trainings and invested in myself and different courses and things of that sort. And I think sometimes people don't understand why you should do it or take the time to do that. So, for people who are trying to figure out, if they're on the fence of, I don't know if I should invest in myself, is this worth the money? I don't even know if I have even $1,500 to invest in myself. Where can people start?
Online. And like nowadays with social media, like we have a podcast right now because I'm gonna give y'all some game on this podcast right now. So I hope you got your pen and your pad, right? But just being able to get free content on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever this is going to be distributed, right? On Instagram, every single Monday at 8 p.m., I go live on Instagram and give out a bunch of free game, right? Free seminars. So you can just start by going and just utilizing the internet to get bits and pieces of information. Because I say when you go on YouTube University, you're going to get a lot of what to do, but you won't get how to do. It's two different things. So if you learn what to do, you can try to start to piece it together and get some results, and then you can now reinvest to get the mentorship that's going to walk you along and show you how to do it. But that's what I would tell anybody to do to start. Just get that information. If we're talking about commercial real estate specifically, because that is what my main focus is. I teach, train, and mentor all real estate professionals across the country. Strategy. So commercial is different from residential. Residential is when you have a single family, two family, anything that you would live in. Commercial is when you would buy an apartment building or shopping plaza, storage facility. So I teach how to go buy those bigger assets without any money because, we've been told that we need a bunch of money to go buy those big things, or we don't even think we could do it, right? Now, the first step that I would tell somebody to get into the commercial real estate space that don't have any money, right? You at least just go get a suit and tie, right? Like if you got something from church and something, you go to the mosque, you got something in your closet, get dressed, and I want you to go out. And when you drive around, you're gonna see a real estate office in your area, right? You're gonna see a different real estate realty. Just drop in there, give you a business card, introduce yourself, and let them know I'm looking to just add value. I'm not gonna, not get paid. I want to learn. I want to be around other individuals, and then you'll be surprised people take you under their wing, right? You can even go on Eventbrite and you could type in real estate conferences or meetups in your area and just get out and network, and somebody's going to give you an opportunity that's going to help you start to learn and push yourself forward.
Yeah, I like that. Meetup is a really good one. So for you, you jumped from residential to commercial kind of like, I don't want to say overnight, but it was almost immediately, right?
Yeah.
What caused that change in your business?
Because I wanted more money. That's just the bottom line. I'm going to be real. Real estate is the number one wealth building vehicle out there. We all know it. But when you buy single family houses, duplexes, three families, your profit margin is like 8, 10%, 12%. There's a very small profit margin. It's consistent, but it's small. And then I said, how could I make more money in my real estate business? I ended up buying a 6-unit apartment building. So then I'm like, okay, I bought an apartment building that has one roof. I have a single family over here that has one roof, but I'm getting more money out of this. I might as well have the one that has the most people in it under one roof if I'm going to pay taxes, right? I'm going to have to pay water and everything. I'm going to have to get insurance. I might as well get the most bang for my buck. And as I went through that process, I realized that it's actually easier to buy a commercial building than a single family. People don't even know it. The reason why it's easier because when you're buying a commercial building, the lenders are looking at the asset, the property, and what it's bringing in. Can it cover the expenses? It's called debt service coverage ratio, right? So as long as that property can bring in more money times 2 on what that debt is, you're good. Whereas a single family, they want to see your bank statements for the last 12 months, every transaction, where has this money come from, who gifted you this money, your W-2s, They want to draw blood from you. And I get it. The banks is giving money, so they want to make sure whoever has it is responsible. But with the commercial side, financing, it's easier. You get more cash flow. And then the last piece I want to add, you can actually dictate your income. So with residential real estate, the value of your building or your property is based upon what sales comparables are, right? So Joe's property up the street sold for 200,000, and Kathy's property up the street sold for 150. That gives you your price. Where in commercial real estate, it goes by how much income you're bringing in. So you can increase your rents, add value, do different things that I teach in my program to pull the most money out. That increases the value. So no matter if this building next door is worth 100,000, your building could still be worth 600,000 if you're bringing in the most money. So I just like being able to control and dictate what I'm bringing in.
Yeah, I love that. And I like how you broke it down, made it sound really simple. I just have a question about, for people to differentiate between a mortgage loan and then a business loan. What's the difference? And then I know you kind of just talked about a little bit about getting qualified for that business loan, but what's the difference? And what are they looking for to be able to qualify?
Great question. So with the mortgage, right, it's essentially almost the same thing, but with the mortgage, they're looking more into you as a person, right? You have to guarantee that loan as the individual. Whereas on the commercial space, it's the business that's guaranteeing that loan. It's a commercial loan. So it's the same process, right? Where we have to still fill out our applications, finance statements, but from a commercial business loan, your business is going to stand on its own. Your business has to show tax returns. Your business has to show bank statements, not you personally. Whereas a mortgage, you personally have to have that liability. And, I like that. So all of the apartments that I have, I have commercial, mortgages on them, but it's not on my personal credit report. You won't see it because it's in my business name. So it keeps me clear, versus getting mortgages for single families, residential. You're just gonna have a bunch of mortgages on your personal, and then that increases your debt to income ratio and all of that stuff that come with it.
So I wanted to kind of change gears. We talked about this Mailbox Millionaire Academy, and I'm like, well, do I need to sign up? Let me get into this Mailbox Millionaire Academy. What's going on? And then I see behind you have Making of a Mogul. I like that too. So tell me about what's going on with this Mailbox money, and what are these courses that you're teaching? Are you're showing people how to get these business loans? What's going on?
Absolutely. So Mailbox Millionaire Academy, I've been working on this for like at least 2 years straight, because I've been in real estate for 7 years, like I said, but I didn't want to start a coaching program until I felt like I mastered it and I was comfortable, because it's tough coaching other people when you out there doing it yourself. It's impossible, right? So I said, I want to build it up to where I have a full-fledged staff company. I'm making enough money where now I could go out there and help other people. So Mailbox Millionaire Academy is a commercial real estate and credit mentorship program. So it's a one-stop shop. It's not just real estate, not just credit. We literally combine it. So when you come into the Mailbox Millionaire Academy, we're going to teach you how to fix your credit, how to get access to capital, how to get business credit, business loans, take that money and then go buy assets, right? How to find them, how to evaluate them. A lot of my students, they even partner together. We have students that have great credit and lines of credit. And then we have students that find good deals and then they partner together, right? But the reason why I named it, because I have it on my sweater here, Mailbox Millionaire, right? The reason why I named it Mailbox Millionaire is because I teach all of my mentees to make money in their sleep. In order to become wealthy, you have to get paid in your sleep. So we don't want to get a quick check. We don't want to get 20,000 here, 30,000 here. We want to be able to get the money to go buy storage facilities, apartment buildings that's going to pay us for generations. I could pass down to my son. Now my son could pass that down to his son, and it could stay in the family forever. And we call that mailbox money. Waking up, direct deposit. Waking up, mailbox check. Okay, cool. And we get to live the lives that we want to live. I have a mentorship program, and what's valuable about me personally, what I feel, I partner with my students. So, not only am I teaching you the game, I put you in the game. You go find a facility that makes sense. We're going to come in and we're partnering with you, help you get to the finish line. A lot of programs don't do that. They'll teach you and let you figure it out. But we actually, step in there and we get it done. I do have a course option as well. So for people that don't want that, and they want a cheaper route, just get the information. All right, you get the course, but everything is there quick for you to go out there and do what you need to do.
Yeah.
And, really quick, I'll show you this, right? So Making of a Mogul. I actually executive produced a movie. So if you go to makingofamogulfilm.com, I executive produced a movie, and it's pretty much my life. I'm documenting it, but we go online and everybody have webinars, right? And these free trainings, which I do it too, but I said I want to do something that's different. How could I show people, like really show people, not just tell you? So I said, okay, the initial idea was just document, me in the field doing what I do, right? Meeting with my contractors, closing deals. And then next thing you know, it turned into a whole movie. I'm like, what the heck, right? But yeah, that movie, it documents my entire process of how I got started in real estate to where I am today. Personal hardships, families, like going to college, those struggles, but being able to, stay on the right path to ultimately get to here. So it's called Making of a Mogul, because we're always in that process of elevating. We're never going to stop.
Yeah, everything is a process. So the students that you have come through your program, you said that you've been able to help people stop their 9 to 5s. What's kind of like that point where you're just like, this is when I need to go ahead and resign. And how do you, coach someone to that point of being able to say like, this is really what I'm looking for, and what's the work ethic behind somebody that needs to do that? Because I think some people are blindsided and they just think like, oh, this guy's gonna help me make my mailbox millionaire money, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm about to get these properties, and I'm trying to quit in 6 months. So what does that look like?
I'm gonna be real, man. I'll be straightforward with my students. I say, listen, like it won't work unless you do. Like I could teach you the skill, but you gotta have the will, right? I always say, I'll show you how, but you have to understand why. So I always challenge them up front to tell me what their why is, right? I want you to understand that, okay, you got a 9 to 5, are you gonna do a 6 to 12, right? I was going on property appointments on my lunch break, right? What are you doing on the weekends? Like that's the type of like commitment level that you have to have. I challenge all my students to understand the difference between motivation and commitment. Motivation is being excited in that moment of what the possibilities are, but when the challenges come, then you fall out because you're not committed. So just talking through that process of having your mindset right, that's everything. And people think mindset is, oh, I don't need it, but people don't believe in things because they can't see it or touch it, right? So if you see that you need to go to the gym because I'm overweight, I need to go to the gym, you can actually see that. Oh, I need money because your bank account is low, it's something you can see. Most people can't see that they need mindset development. So I have to train them on that. That's the first step. The second thing is now we're going to craft out your financial goals. How much money do you need to make to quit your job, right? I say at least we want to make sure that all of your expenses is paid for by an investment property. That's the first step. If you don't get that done, you cannot leave your job. So now we got to fill out the budget tracker, right? I have everybody fill it out. What's all your living expenses? What can we cut down? All right, you got $3,000 in living expenses. We need to acquire a building or apartment, whatever, that's going to bring in $3,000 minimum. So that now covers your bills. And at the very minimum, at least your bills are paid. You don't got money to ball out.
But you can't go to the club,
but the bills are paid. You know what I'm saying? So now that the bills are paid, we can now use that time to go and grow our business and start that path of really scaling up and becoming CEO. So that's pretty much how it goes.
No, that's awesome. I mean, and then for those students that are learning that process, like how you said, it's your mindset, because that motivation, that'll leave you. You be motivated the very first day, but keeping that motivation is what's hard. And remember, like you said, your why is what will get you back on track. So for those students that are going through this program, and then they have that first set, like, okay, I'm able to pay my bills, I can do this. Do you also, like, what if they don't want to work the business, right? They just want to have that, and then they hire someone to man it, because that's maybe not their dream to work in the business. They want to have it and then hire someone.
I love that you said that, because to be completely, it's crazy because because I love real estate so much, I thought that everybody in the world would love real estate, right? But that's not true. So a lot of my students, they don't even really care for real estate. They just want the opportunity to get some type of financial freedom or additional source of income. And they know that real estate can do that for them, right? So we actually help you build out your team. So you don't need to be the one that's
Whoa, that's nice.
you could actually hire virtual assistants. So we have virtual assistants that come in, they do cold calling, right? You train them, we have scripts and everything already set up. All the SOPs is already in place. All we got to do is hire them. But you need to at least know the foundation so you can manage them. So I just say, learn the information so you can manage your team. We show you how to put your acquisitions team in place and all of these cool things so that you can look and run a business. Now, the money that you're bringing in, you might want to go start your podcast like Shanice, right? You might want to start a clothing line, right? You may want to be in movies, right? Who cares? Go follow your dreams. But buying real estate can allow you to have that space and time to go do it.
Yeah, for sure. So did you have to, I know you talked about the 9 to 5, but since you had just mentioned that, I was wondering with the cleaning company, did that help you financially, start with real estate as well? Did you use some of that money?
No, I made money in real estate and then I bought the cleaning franchise. Now I was making money.
Right.
That COVID took me up, right? So COVID was like a gift and a curse. It was crazy, right? But like I said earlier, I didn't have the time and the dedication to it the way I needed, right?
Yeah.
You got to go into your accounts at least on a weekly basis and make sure that your team is clean and right. Meet with the clients. I didn't do that. I just kind of let my team do their thing because I trusted them. But when the cat's away, the mice are play, right? So they're not doing what they need to do. And when COVID happened, I provided services to other companies. So I had a doctor's office, I had a restaurant, I had an art studio. But
Okay.
when COVID happened, a lot of the businesses shut down. So now they don't need my services because they closed. Why would
Yeah.
they need to cut expenses now?
Mhm.
So I had to cut my staff. And next thing you know, I'm like, all right, let me just close up shop and focus strictly on real estate. So it didn't help me. I was just trying to create an additional source of income. And I'm going to go back to it at some
Yeah.
point because I know it makes a lot of money, but you need to put the attention and detail and support in it to be successful.
I think COVID taught a lot of people a lot of things. I mean, we all have come out of it, whether you had some scrapes and bruises, some tears, whatever, or even you came out on top, whatever. I think a lot of us learned a lot just going through that process and just everything shutting down. We've never experienced such drastic change so quickly. And so for you, I'm curious to know how your family plays a part because you say you have like 12, 11 siblings. It's a lot, or cousins. All of y'all live together. Do you do business with family?
Absolutely. It's definitely a struggle, right? Because I'm a family-oriented individual, and my ultimate goal is to buy a plot of land and build a small community of townhomes for me and my family. So, I don't want my nieces, my nephews, my cousins, my son to be able to be in different parts of the world. I want everybody to be together, and we go to the same schools, build, have our own small community, right? That's what I want. Unfortunately, not everybody has the same mindset or the same work ethic, even if they got the same
It's like we don't
bloodline.
want to live in your neighborhood.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, they still good with the corner store off the block. They good with that. So I'm like, all right, cool. But my brother, he's my operations manager. My dad, he actually works in my business as well as one of my acquisition managers. My wife, she's actually my strategic planning manager and partner as well.
Nice.
So I definitely heavily support my family being able to do this together. But that's pretty much it.
Why is that important for you?
Because that's a good question. It's important for me because I truly feel like God has blessed me. And I had a conversation with God and it was like, listen, I'm going to bless you as long as you bless others. Right. And you got to take people along. At the end of the day, I could go outside and I could get hit by a car. Something could happen to me. So I don't ever want to get too high. Right. I want to make sure that I bring people along so that something happened to me, God forbid, right? We can keep this movement going because it's bigger than me, right? So I need family to be on board. I need my community to be on board, right? When we want to change our communities, which is really what I strive to do, to change my community, not just me. And then it starts with the household, starts with the family. They got a family, we got to come together. And then now we can show other people. Now we start coming together as a community to really create the change and the impact. And that's ultimately what my goal is. It's not about money. It's really about when it's all said and done,
Yeah.
I want my son to look at me up on the wall, right? I want him not have Jay-Z and Beyonce. It's okay, like they cool, but I don't want him to have celebrities. I want him to have me on the wall and know that my dad did something that was truly generational, you
And
know?
taught him, right? So it's like,
Exactly.
yeah, because it's one thing to have one person know, but if you're the only person, then it's pointless, right? Because then you can't do anything else because once you're gone, the information is gone. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the importance of a griot, right? That's what I call myself, the modern day griot. You know, we
Okay.
like to tell people stories. We gotta get these stories out there so that we're not the only ones with the information, so that other people can receive it. And I love that because I think a lot of times it's hard to work with family and people. I've heard so many people say like, "Oh, I don't want to work with family," and it's too much and this, that, and the third. But I think if you do it in a way where everyone feels like they have a purpose, right? They have their thing, right? Because it sounds like you specifically designated roles for those people in your life so that they know what they're doing. And when people don't have a designation, then that's maybe where they feel lost or they're not included.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that maybe that'll help somebody say, you know what, I'm at the top of my family. Let me go ahead and bring them with me. Because I mean, that's why I love LeBron. Like, I like him just because I'm from Ohio anyway.
Yeah.
But that's the icing on the cake for me, is because he put all his boys on. He didn't care that they didn't know. He paid for them to learn what they needed to know and was like, no, if I'm going to hire you, I'm going to hire you to teach him how to do it because this is who I'm bringing with me. And that's
Mm.
important. Like, because you get to choose who's in your circle. When you have a certain type of money and power, you choose who's in your circle. And if you choose for people who you don't trust or you're not even your own family, I think that says something about yourself too.
I agree.
So, but
You
yeah.
talking my language. You didn't make me jump out my body just now because LeBron is one of my like, role models, right? I strive to get that level of greatness, but you hit it on the head. Just being able to empower other people. Now they're experts in their fields, right? The impact of him is just, that's the goal ultimately. But I want to ask you a question. I know you interviewed me.
Oh, I'm getting questions. Okay, let's go.
I want to ask you a question, right? So, I want to know what inspired you to really create this podcast and have the idea behind it and discovering individuals and that personal development thing that they went through. Right? What inspired you? Because I appreciate individuals like yourself because we kind of got our own television now, right? Like back
Yeah.
in the day, you have to pay millions of dollars to get on TV. Well, we don't need that no more. Now we have our own media communications where we can come on platforms like this to spread the message out and hopefully people catch it, right? But
Yeah.
what inspired you to put together this platform?
Man, I went to school for broadcast journalism, and I started a TV program there. It's funny, and it was called Through the Lens. And it was meant to shine or cast a light on the students through the camera lens, right? Like, what is their life like? What's going on campus? But I went through some things or whatever as, I got older and, graduated, I got married, had a baby and got divorced. And it was just a lot of things that personally I went through that I was like, who am I? Like, what am I wanting to do for myself? Everybody
Mm,
else I put before me, and that's not serving a purpose because if I'm not in my purpose and driving who I want to be,
mm,
then I'm not going to be good for anybody else.
mm,
So I was like, you know what, for me to discover who I am, it's going to be an everyday personal journey. And it is. And I think some days are harder than others. And then you have some days you're like, man, I'm the shit. Right. And then other days you're like, okay, I need to work on that. Right. And so I'm a journal person. So I like to write and document things down. And then I'll go back and I'll say, you don't realize the progress that you've made from just a year or the things that you should work on. And when you journal it and you take note of it and you're like, wow, this is a huge improvement. Like, and you can have grace on yourself, because I think we don't have enough grace on ourselves either. We're really hard on ourselves.
we are. We
Yeah.
are. Amazing. That's amazing. Congrats to you. Absolutely. That's amazing.
Yeah. Thank you.
I know I'm being interviewed, but I like to hear about other individuals. So,
No, I
um,
appreciate the question. But so one of my gem of a question, I believe, that I ask everyone, tell me how you discover your best self.
wow. 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 How do I discover my best self? I'm spiritually aligned. That's number one, right? I pray 5 times a day. I make sure that I'm spiritually connected because that keeps me grounded. Because it's like you got to be so intentional to get to that next level. Like the way society is and all the like the chaos and the distractions, it'll throw you off.
Yes.
But I remember this was in 2012. My girlfriend at the time, she's not my wife, right? But my girlfriend at the time, I was in college, right? And I was in trouble, right? I was in the streets. So I was selling drugs on campus. I was rapping. I was doing all the things that we think that we should do as Black men, right? Because we don't have no representation. And I ended up getting caught on campus, and then they pretty much was about to expel me. And I'm like, damn, I'm gonna go back home. I'm the first one in my family to ever go away to college. So I'm like, how can I go back home and let everybody know I failed because I'm over here like being a knucklehead? Like, I couldn't go back home. So I had to figure out how I was going to stay on campus. And I remember I had a vulnerable conversation with my girlfriend at that time, right? And I said, listen, she's like, why did you? Because she didn't even know I was doing the things that I was doing. I kind of hid the light from her, right? So she said, wow, like, I thought you was better than that, right? And I said, yo, I don't know any other way, right? This is all I know. And she said, yo, no, you better than that. You're more talented than that, right? Like, I said, I don't have no skills. I felt like God didn't bless me with no skills because I wasn't a rapper or a dancer or a singer. Like I didn't have any physical talents that I could see, right? Mm-hmm. But she said, no, sometimes your talent could be what's in you, something that you can't touch, right? Your talent is that you're a great speaker. You're a great leader. You know how to bring people together. Like I always had those skills around my family and my friends, right? I would be able to create whatever we doing. Like people would call me and say, hey, yo, what we doing tonight, right? I just had that. Exactly. So she's like, you need to take that and really figure out how could you become and reach your full potential. And after that conversation, I found real estate, and I'm like, this is the perfect lane for me because I can literally be a leader. I can be influential. I can help people, and it's a path where I don't have to be super like smart and talented to do real estate. Like I'm not a dancer, or rapper, or a singer, but I can do great at real. Anybody can do great in real estate. So I think it's having the right people around you, being spiritually aligned, and always being self-aware. Like that's how I discovered my best self. And I closed my eyes after that conversation, and I looked in the mirror. I said, yo, I'm gonna be the young mogul. I don't care what nobody said. I started wearing suits on campus like every Friday. All my friends, they like, oh, what he doing is hot as hell on campus. He wearing suits. But I already had made up my mind. After that conversation, I made up my mind, and I knew where I was gonna go. And it was just about letting the world know who I am.
Mm-hmm. No, I love that. It's so funny because other people can see greatness in you before you can sometimes, right? And they're like, yo, what are you doing? I always thought about this, thought this of you. And you're like, you thought that of me, right? It's like people can see that in you, right? Sometimes before you do. And so I like that she was able to point that out for you because you have to have people that are honest around you. Yeah. So how can people find you to get all this valuable information, all these gems that were dropped? And also, do you have like a new course that's coming up that people can register for or whatever?
Absolutely. So you can find me on Instagram at mogul lifestyle _ So that's MOGULLIFESTYLE _ I'm on YouTube dropping game all day. That's at Mogul Elite Club. That's primarily where I am. You can reach out. I do have a mentorship program as I discussed earlier. So just tap in with me on Instagram, and you'll be able to get access to everything that we got going on. That's the best place where you can find me. That and YouTube.
Awesome.
But I want to do something special too. I want to do something special because we tapped in. So I'm not sure when this episode is going to air, right? But I want to do something special for everybody that's tapping in to this podcast, right? I want to give 30% off. So anybody that tap into my course, right? I'm going to give you the promo code in the link. Well, the promo code is going to be Discover, right? That's going to be the promo code. I'm going to give you the link. You can drop it in the notes. Everybody that tap in, they're going to be able to get that discount and be able to become Mailbox Millionaires just because y'all tapped into the podcast.
Hey, you gotta listen to get that discount. I like that. I like that. And also, thank you everybody who are already subscribers to the podcast. We super, super appreciate your dedication. And also, don't forget to hit that notification bar so that you can find out when more of these great episodes are dropping. It'll notify you on your phone. So, thank you so much. Keep following us on Discover Your Best Self podcast. Thank you for listening to Discover Your Best Self. Don't forget to subscribe and comment. Follow us on Instagram at Discover Your Best Self.